Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video. I'm once again in Ark Genesis Part 2, and in this video, folks, I'm going to be showing you all of the resource locations and where you can get good resources from. So here we are with the first location. We are in the Rockwell corrupted biome. I don't really know how to call this. And here we have, as you saw there, plenty of metal nodes, and we also have the crystal. So this is where you will come for crystal. Of course, if you come with an Anki, you can get more crystal, but I'm just going to show you what there is around here. Now, this is kind of like a pillar-like structure, cliff-like structure, and there's quite a few of them around, and a lot of them at the top will have these types of resources. So you can find stuff ranging between metal, crystal. There's more crystal up here. You saw to my left there was a bit of obsidian. So this is where you want to come. So I'm going to show you the map location of where I'm at the moment, and this is where you want to be. Of course, here are the GPS coordinates, and yeah, I'm going to show you a bit of what there is around so you guys can see as I'm showcasing this area. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover quite a few areas where different types of resources spawn and how you can find them. It does have its own quirks, this particular DLC, and I do actually quite like it. So let's get on with the next location. So when I said the little pillar-like cliffs, this is what I meant. So you want to come to the top here, and as you can see here, we have obsidian. There's quite a few of them here in the Rockwell biome, and they'll have different types of resources. This, of course, here is obsidian. So again, another much needed resource. Probably better if you do come with a flyer and maybe an Anki or something that can carry a lot of weight. Now, of course, there are other places that you can get these resources from, and of course, one good place to go for these types of resources would be to the center ring, but that depends on what day it is. So here is the map location and the GPS coordinates for this particular area right here. Okay, so here we are with another location. This again has loads of, well, not loads, but enough metal. And if we go flying about here, again at the top, got some more metal. We have some obsidian, and that just kind of backs up what I was saying. You basically want to go to the top of the cliffs that you have scattered about, and you'll find, I'd say, a decent amount of resources. And these are all kind of sought after resources anyways. They're basic resources, but you kind of need them for just about everything. So I'm just going to show you around a little bit. Now check this out, guys. I was flying around looking for resources, and here at the top of these mountains there is loads of obsidian, and I mean loads. And this is not just the only one. There's more down this way. As you can see, we have quite a bit of obsidian. I'm going to show you the map location because there's only like 3 little cliffs that have this, but there's so much obsidian, it's ridiculous. Here we have some metal. Not a lot, but you know, still worth coming up here to get it if you're running short on metal. But let's go back to these 3 little cliffs right here that have the ridiculous amount of obsidian. This is a lot. This is a great deal. So here are the coordinates on the GPS and map location. You can see we are quite next to, or quite close to, a little corridor or path that goes between the biomes. Here's the second one, and they seem to be right at the top of this little mountain. There is another one right here that has some more, and I'm just keeping the map and GPS out so you guys can see exactly where I am. So definitely worth coming around here. Again, some more right here. So this is the 4th one, and I think after this there's no more. So it's just a little corner of this mountain that has a bit of obsidian. Okay, so that is pretty much it for this location. Now let's talk about other resources here. I'm just showing you that you don't find anything else here. Now, what about pearls? Particularly the Silica Pearls and the Black Pearls. If you are trying to keep it simple, you want to go swimming, and at the bottom of these corrupted lakes, if you want to call them, because they're purple, you will find Silica Pearls at the bottom. Now, you have to bear in mind here that you will have to deal with the piranha, with the sarcos, with the capros, and that's about it. But that is one of the dangers. So I'm gonna swim about here and just kind of show you that there's quite a decent amount of the Silica Pearl stuff, and you can tell them apart because they do tend to have this little glowy things. I mean, this isn't the only place that has Silica Pearls. There's quite a few areas, and there is a full underwater biome which will have lots of the stuff around. But if you don't want to go scuba diving in the maze-like underwater biome, which I'm looking forward to exploring, by the way, but in all honesty, this is a good area to come and grab quite a few Silica Pearls. I mean, the map is huge and it has loads of locations that you can find it. So let's get an aerial view of this particular lake. Oh, struggling here a bit. There we go. There's our danger right there. He's going to ignore me because I'm in invisible mode. So I have the cheat leave me alone set up. So this is the lake right here on the map. We got the GPS coordinates for it, and there's quite a few of these lakes, and they will have the Silica Pearls. But there is another way of doing it. As I said, there's quite a few ways of getting resources here, and that's just quite cool. There's actually Silica Pearls on land in different locations. Here we go. This is another little node that I found a bit interesting because it has quite a decent amount of, I would say, metal and obsidian. So I kind of like this. Again, it's on top of one of these cliffs. And I think this is going to be the last one that I'm going to show. But you know what? Might as well show it off because I like it. There's a lot of resources here that you can definitely harvest. The next one I want to show you, of course, will be quite a interesting resource because it comes from a plant. So again, some more right here. And a bit more right there. So as you can see, this is where you want to find them. This is exactly where you want to be looking, on top of these cliffs. Definitely a good amount of resources. Now, let's talk about getting those much needed black pearls. See these plants right here? They're the dry ones. And if you use a chainsaw to them, or bring a chainsaw to them, you will get a load of black pearls and some element shards. Now, one thing you have to bear in mind is, right there, that thing that's moving, that's a carnivorous plant. I don't know what it's called exactly, but it will want to eat you. So you will have to struggle to get out of it. Oh, it's already spotted me. But let's try and harvest these. As you can see, we get a lot of element shards. We get a decent amount of black pearls. And I think my harvest rate settings are set to be similar to the official servers. Just to kind of show you right here. And I'm already running out of space inventory. Or space in my inventory. My English is broken at this point in time. My apologies. But yeah, just bring your chainsaw over here and have your way with these things. Now, of course, these are the flesh-eating plants, but they're the ones that have dried up and died out. And here is what happens when you get eaten by one of these big plants that is actually not dead. But there's quite a few of these around, and there's actually quite a few of them scattered about the biome, to be fairly honest. And I'm just going to harvest a few of these just to kind of show you how quickly I'm gathering these resources. I mean, black pearls are definitely a good resource to have, and this is what I got so far. Not a bad haul so far. I'm going to do a bit more harvesting, a couple of minutes of harvesting, and then I'll cut back in to show you what I've got. I'm not worried about the wrecks because I still have the leave me alone cheat on. This is because I want to show you all the good stuff and where to find it. Of course, without being bothered. Now, this is the location for this area that has so many plants that you can harvest with a chainsaw for black pearls. I did want to bring up my inventory, but never mind. Here we go. These are the coordinates on the GPS. I brought it closer so you guys can see. So 34.1, 11.2. Basically 34 by 11 is where you want to be. Keep this up for a wee while so you guys can write it down if you want to do so. And then we'll move on to the next location. Alright, here we are with another location. So, there are two entrances into the Rockwell Innards biome. And at the entrance, we will find these wonderful plants, similar as the ones before. And if you harvest them with a chainsaw, you will get the resources you saw before. So that would be the black pearls and some element shards, because why not? This is just one of the entrances. There's another one down here, and you can go and scope that out as well. It will give you the exact same thing, and then I think there's also a couple of more areas around here that will have this. Now, another place we can get some additional element shards would be in the Rockwell Innards biome. And of course, for this, we will need a chainsaw. If we harvest these, as you can see, we get the element shards. We can get some Silica Pearls and quite a decent amount of prime meat. Now, bear in mind, this particular biome is ridiculously dangerous and hard to survive in. It is basically extinction on steroids, I'd call this. And if we harvest this as well, we get some raw salt and some element shards. So this is a end game area that you want to come and do some harvesting. I mean, we get a decent amount of stuff. And here we have an area where we can pick up some Mutagel, which we can then turn into mutagen. I believe we need about 800 of this stuff to turn it into. So let me be more specific. We need 800 Mutagel to turn into one mutagen, but this is right next to the heart and the platform where we start the fight with Rockwell, and you can handpick it, and as you can see, we are picking up the Mutagel. Now bear in mind, this right here is acid, but I'm showing you that there is stuff that you can pick up from here as well. You might not want to go swimming in it just because it's not necessarily pleasant, but this is one way of getting it. There is another way, and I'll show you that later on. So I'm going to show you the coordinates. I want to try to get out of here in a bit, and here we are. Get some light on the map, and here we are with the GPS coordinates. I will keep this up for a bit so you guys can write it down. I know and realize that this is probably one of the more difficult biomes to be in. I did want to show it off because there are stuff that that you can get from here. However, there is another way of getting the Mutagel and mutagen, or particularly the Mutagel, and I'll show you that later on in this video. So here we are. This is the biome to be. This is the inner ring right here. So there's three rings. There's the starting ring, the center ring, which is this right here, which is kind of the equivalent of the lunar biome. This, of course, will be sandwiched between the Rockwell biome and the starting biome. So this resets at midnight every night, and here we will get a different type of resource. So as you can see, we've got sulfur and stone this time around, and there are a lot of these rocks around here that you can harvest, but this isn't the only thing that you can get. So I'm going to show you what they look like, and then I'll give you a list of stuff. Another thing you can get from here, of course, you can see these black rocks right here. Well, this is not obsidian. This is oil. So you can also harvest oil from these locations. You can tell them apart because they tend to have or spawn on these yellowish asteroid type rocks. I didn't know what to call them. So, but there we go. There's loads of it. So bring in an Ankylosaurus here, and you will have a field day with collecting resources. So this is a different type of resource combination. I think there's quite a few of them. So I'm going to try and show off some of them and hopefully get some of the more interesting ones as well. Okay, here we are with another resource. Again, we have metal, and this time around we have ambergris. That's right. So if we harvest these rocks, we get some mutagel, some ambergris, and some stone. There we go. Now, this particular biome, so to speak, as it is now only has the metal and the ambergris that we will get, of course, the mutagel as well. So this is one way of getting mutagel, but we don't get a lot of mutagel. And as I said, at midnight every night, this will reset as we teleport from one planet to another. Here we are with another type of resource. So this time around, we've got oil and we also have the metal. So I'm just going to show you that this is oil right here and not obsidian. There we go. And again, this is kind of what this biome has to offer, and there's quite a bit of it, to be fairly honest. Okay, we have reset it again. This time around, we have element dust. So this time, instead of bringing a pick to it, you just go and collect it with your hand. You might be able to use some other type of tool, but I haven't actually spent much time, to be fairly honest, looking around to see what I can use. I have to lose some weight for the time being. Yeah, I can build these again. But yeah, there is like element dust on the floor. You will get element dust. You may get some element shards from it. So on top of that, we also have some metal that we can harvest. And of course, we have to bear in mind that this is a bit of a dangerous area because we do have the void worms. Did I butcher? I butchered it. The void worms, and that is the equivalent of the wyverns. We also have the Astrocetus that spawns here, as well as the Astrodelphus, and we do get seekers on top of that spawn here. So, kind of be prepared, I'd say. Finally, next we have this right here, which will give us the element shards with element and maybe sometimes some element dust. But you harvest these with the use of a pick or a ankylosaurus. I will show you the difference between a pick and ankylosaurus. But as you can see, we are getting element shards for days. So these are only a couple of the resources that you can get here. I'm going to give you guys a full list of what I have seen so far. I have written them down, and here is what you can find. So in this area, you can find metal, you can find crystal, you can find oil, sulfur, and black pearls. The black pearls will be in a bubble-like structure, so keep that in mind. On top of that, you can also get element dust, element shards, and of course element itself. Here you can also find the mutagel, which you can then use to turn into mutagen. You can find ambergris, and one of the things that I haven't shown here is you can also find gems. So that would include the green gems, blue gems, and red gems. That of course will be required throughout the game. So this is the go-to area for all of the more important resources in the game. So here you can see what an ankylosaurus will give us in terms of resources. And finally, we are here with some cementing paste. Now, of course, there are several ways of getting cementing paste in the game, but if you're looking for beaver dams, this is where you want to be. Basically, if you see a river with beavers spawning into it, go and have a look around, because there's a chance you will find a beaver dam, and in it, of course, will be cementing paste. Of course, you can also get cementing paste by harvesting insects and turning the chitin and keratin into it. Here is the map coordinates and of course the GPS coordinates for this. I'll show off the river and you'll see that there are quite a few beavers that do spawn around here. This is an aerial view, so that is the other river next to it that will also spawn beavers here. So I'll try and do this a bit slower so you can see the beavers. I don't know if there'll be beaver dams necessarily, but the logic dictates that if there are beavers around, there's a good chance that there will be beaver dams as well. So here we go, we got some beavers right there. So it's definitely worth coming here and checking the area out to see if there are any beaver dams for some cementing paste. And that is pretty much it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it, found it useful and informative. If you have, please do not forget to support me in the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description. And until next time, stay safe, folks.